Hey, I'm Prashant. This series is created to welcome you into the world of some really amazing, inspiring women. Watch exclusively with me on this show, The Pretty Pep Talk with Prashant. Hello, welcome to the series, The Pretty Pep Talk with Prashant. And my today's guest has a very interesting profile. She's a guest list curator for luxury brands. And she's very pretty because her name is Preity Modi. Welcome, Preity.
Thank you so much.
And you're looking gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous today.
Thank you, Prashant.
As usual. What's the secret of this?
So I think it's a lot of positive thinking, which luckily for me, being blessed, it comes naturally to me. So keeping my thoughts positive, and I have this motto of trying to do one good deed a day at least. And it's really self-satisfying. So, combination of good thoughts and being able to do even a small good deed a day just keeps me in a very good frame of mind. I think that's what reflects on my face and body too.
Oh, and I think it reflects in your work also, right?
Yes.
That's the way your profile is. So can you tell us about your profile? What you're doing nowadays?
So, what is a luxury brand host?
Right.
People ask me. So it's a very interesting concept where I curate and execute guest lists for luxury brand events. So if there's a luxury brand, say a luxury car or fine jewelry brand, designer clothing, and they would like to have a lavish pampering event for potential buyers. So what they do is they host a lovely event with the best of food and drinks and venue, and also showcasing their collection there. And I do the work of inviting people who love to indulge in lifestyle and luxury brands. So I'm like a connector between a person who's looking to buy something niche and exclusive, between the buyer and the person who's providing the product or service.
Oh, lovely. And what a gorgeous link. So, Preity, I just want to discuss this with you. You know, today's generation is very unsure about this institution called marriage. You know, they're not very sure whether they want to get married or they want to just stay together. And people don't believe in this institution of marriage. So what is your view on that, and what is your take on that?
So Prashant, I feel that it's a personal choice. You know, we all have not come out of the same mold. Each individual is unique. And I think we personally know best. So if somebody is sure or quite sure that they don't want to get married, they should definitely not be forced into it. Everybody is not cut out for marriage, you know. It involves, it is a lot of stability, and it's wonderful. It has something very magical about it. The whole concept where you have somebody always by your side, but it also involves a lot of compromises and discipline, you know, to stay with somebody. True. So I think it's a very personal choice, and people should, if somebody does not want to get married, you should not force them. And if somebody is happy with the concept of marriage and wants to get married, marriage should go in for it. You know, it's not like it's a redundant concept. So it's not, one thing will not fit everybody.
Right. So what you say is like love is important, marriage is not so important. If two people are in love, then they can just stay together without this.
So that, yes, absolutely. If they are fine with not needing to get married and want to live together when they're in love, that's also perfectly all right. As long as there's clarity on both the ends of what they want.
Okay, so does marriage needs a lot of arrangement, like a lot of sacrifice, let's say?
Yes, of course. I mean, when two people live together under one roof today, even when we live with our parents, once we're adults, there is a certain amount of rules and regulations we follow out of consideration for them. Like we won't have too many late night parties in the house too often when they're there, because, you know, they're old, they need to rest. You know, or if our younger sibling is going through exams, then we won't be entertaining on those days at home. So it's the same way. When you are living with anybody, there's some kind of adjustment and common terms that you have to abide by. So it's your mindset, you know. Right. If you're okay to do that, you're okay to adjust that with, make those adjustments with your parents or siblings, then why not with your spouse?
Right, true, true. But then why there is so much of conflict nowadays? Whenever I meet couples and they seem to be little, they are not happy with each other. That's what they're constantly complaining about each other.
So, I think that in my personal experiences, the core values of a couple should be the same. So, what you're looking for from life, the the basics
Right.
should be the same. So, if you're the kinds who wants to make money and spend a lot of that on adventure and travel, for that, it's important to you, it's very enriching. While your spouse is the kinds who would want to, build a strong asset base, and that gives them more, stability and happiness, and is not an avid traveler, then you're going to have problems down the line in the relationship, because you'll always want to be on the go, and they'll always, look for being put and stable and pursuing their
Right.
goals and hobbies where they are.
Right.
So your core values should be the same, because you are going to change, your spouse is going to change, and you have to accept that. Another thing is that you have to be ready to fall in love with the same person again and again, because you're going to change, they're going to change. So you actually need to be in love or fall in love over, all over again with another person.
True.
And you have to be ready for that also. Like, take it as an adventure. So what you can do is, when you change, or the opposite person changes, if you're not okay with some of those changes, you sit down and you talk about maintaining a few things in the relationship that you would like to be same, or to be stable, or to be maintained, and also incorporate some of the changes that they want to make in their lives, and be supportive to those changes, because they're going to be important for their dreams, and vice versa. You can, tell them to support you in your changes, how you have changed as a person, or taken up a new activity or hobby or passion, where you need to dedicate time to that, along with fulfilling your responsibilities. So there has to be open communication, and say, okay, if you are away 4 hours on the weekend playing golf,
Right.
for example, or a sport, I'm going to look into some activities that are needed to be taken care at home. But make sure when you're back from that, you're giving that time required to the children, or a family outing, or whatever it is. So it's all about the balancing act and supporting each other. If you support each other, your core values are the same, marriage is a beautiful journey.
Yeah, so Preeti, what I understand from this is people are constantly changing, and you need to accept the change, right? And once you accept the change and you're open for it, then there is a harmony in the whole relationship. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Absolutely.
But I have heard in my circle, and when men talk, and they said it's very difficult to understand women, because they are constantly changing, and they are very unpredictable, and they are not sure what they are going to think the next day. Today she behaves like this, the next day she is thinking something else. So why there is so much of the difference in thinking, or your thoughts, or the thought process of a woman, or why it is so difficult to understand a women? And I tell my people, don't try to understand them, just be with them.
That's a fabulous line. Don't try to understand them, be with them.
Yeah.
It's true that women's personalities most of the time come out in a more complex way than men. It's definitely, even I feel, being a woman, it's easier to figure out, the man with you. I think it's also because women go through, one of the reasons is a lot of hormonal changes in their bodies. True. So their mood fluctuations and certain physical conditions that they're in change. So that also affects and adds a complexity to their personality.
Right.
And that's how we are made. We are made in a way where we are more expressive with our emotions most of the time. And men may have 2 or 3 or 4 ways of expressing their emotions, but I think women express their emotions in many, many deeper levels. So there's the disparity of the expression of emotion is seen. Sometimes we're like really happy, we'll even cry with that. Or then sometimes we're just enthusiastic and ecstatic, And sometimes we're sad, but we'll try not to show it. And sometimes we're sad and we'll want everybody to know and make a big fuss around us about it,
Right.
So with the tears, with just sometimes being sad, with lot of happiness along with tears, with just happiness. Already I'm sharing so many dimensions to our emotions, you know. While men, if they're happy, they're conditioned to express it in a certain way also, till my generation at least,
Right.
where if they're happy, they're just going to be happy. If they're sad, then they're just going to like either you know, stay to themselves or be a little grim, or tell of you know, one of the members in the family, so everybody knows they aaj unka mood theek nahi hai, you know.
Correct.
Everybody kind of lay low. So the demarcations are more obvious.
Right.
It's either happy or sad or stressed out. Most of the time it's these. But like I said, with women it's like happiness with tears, sadness with silence, and many more dimensions, you know. I'm sure that you and I can think of all those dramatic dimensions that we women go through, but that's how we're made. So I won't you know, deny that. Definitely it is. I'm sure it's difficult for men to cope with those multiple dimensions. So I think you just have to accept that that's how women are, and she's going to have these multi dimensions. If I have 4 types of moods as a man, she's going to have 8.
Right.
And that's how she is. So when you accept that, it's fine. You know, it's not going to be a shocker, or you stop saying, why are they like that? Why can't they be like us?
Right.
You know, the universe has not made us like that.
Okay, Preeti, you are so beautiful and so pretty, of course.
Thank
yes.
you.
So what's your idea of beauty?
Beauty is definitely, it's an inside-out combination. You know, because if you're beautiful only outside, it's not going to take you a long way. People are going to get enamored by your beauty in the beginning. Even professionally, if you are in a trade where beauty matters, you'll do well. But along with that, the kind of person you are, how you conduct yourself, how you treat people, your thought process is really important. You know, even if you are sweet on the face, but if you have a very conniving thought process, it's going to show somewhere in your mannerisms, in your behavior, you know, and that won't take you a long way. So always have good thoughts. Decide that I'm going to be a very fair person. I'm a strong believer of karma. So I feel that, you know, if you keep your karmas good, good things will happen to you. See, we all have good and bad happening in our life, right? It may be, the bad may be because of past karmas or whatever it is. But good and bad we all go through. But I personally have seen that people who've done bad things to people who are not in very strong positions suffer their bad karma, you know. And people who've done good deeds and had to even suffer you know, with the bad in their life, like we all, you know, have our fair share of bad coming in.
Yes.
But eventually some very good things happen with them. So your deeds should be good. That is going to also reflect in your physical beauty. So that's also an advantage. If physical beauty is important to you, when your thoughts are good, your deeds are good, it's going to reflect on your physical beauty. And you're going to be very endearing, you're going to be lovely to work with. Everybody wants to work with good people, right? They're like, because the atmosphere is going to be good, you're going to have a positive approach to problem solving, etc. So beauty, when it's a combination of being a beautiful person from inside as well as on the outside, that's like complete beauty. And you know, today even if somebody is not very good looking with like physical features or their dressing, there's so much awareness thanks to the internet that there's no problem. You can look things up and work on your look. You know, there are free YouTube videos on dressing, on makeup. You don't have to spend like tons of money on personal styling if you can't. You know, if you can enjoy that luxury, why not? You should. But in case you can't, then look up videos for your body type, how to dress right, and slowly and steadily incorporate making yourself more beautiful on the outside. And actually making yourself beautiful on the inside is free. It's all about reading up, it's all about positive thoughts, it's all about bringing yourself you know, to a conscious level of doing right, thinking right. We all go through negative thoughts, we all have bad thoughts coming in, but it's all about bringing yourself to a point. Especially one of the easiest activities is writing it down. You know, write down positive thoughts. If negative thoughts are coming to you, write down the negative thoughts cancel it literally with a pen and then write down what is the positive thought you should have in this regard.
Okay.
This writing technique really helps, and people can even look it up on the internet. It actually is very, very helpful because you're giving a signal to the brain to cancel the negative thought and write down the positive thought and tell yourself that I want to stay with this positive thought. I choose to stay with this positive thought. So making yourself beautiful with positive thoughts inside is completely possible. We just have to keep bringing our mind to it. And I've given you tips on how to enhance your physical beauty as well.
Yeah, so Preity, tell me, how important is money?
Well, money is extremely important. It's a means, but it's not the end. You know, so money is required to get a comfortable life in which you're going to have free time. In that free time, what you do is going to be the ends.
Absolutely wonderful.
So, for example, you know, the first few years after of our lives, we have to really work hard on getting a good education. Why? Because that's going to get you into a good college, and that's going to get you in a good placement, you know, placed in a good company, right? Which is going to start your journey of means to an end. So you start getting the means by working in a good firm or you know, starting your business. The first few years of your work life also is going to be focused on making money, which is not bad at all and not wrong at all. What you can do is incorporate some tools like meditation, you know, yoga, walking, cycling, or gymming, whatever works for you to keep your stress levels low and make that money. Okay. Do it.
Okay.
So that after a few years, you actually can work towards having a good day-to-day life, because that's going to burn you out, it's going to stress you out. After a few years, you'll be, what am I doing? I'm just in this whole role, you know,
right.
Of every day getting up and hustling and going to work and providing for myself and my family and whatever my dreams were. But somewhere it's going to leave you empty or incomplete. That's because we are meant to do more. We're meant to make that money, and we're meant to do a lot of things that has been placed by the universe or God inside us. So it could be, you know, a passion for music or a sport or some kind of activity that in the first few years of your life, if you don't have time to take up your work life, you make that kind of money where you can afford to remove those few hours in the week, in the month, to focus on those activities. And only when you actually start doing those activities where it's your, you know, innate quality or passion for music or dance or a sport, whatever it might be, when you start pursuing that, you start feeling that life is feeling beautiful, it's feeling complete, you know. So we're all meant to do that. We're meant to put in efforts in work. We're meant to pursue our passions, because that keeps our soul alive and feeding and growing and healthy. So it's important to look after your soul too. You know, whatever you do, make sure your soul stays protected. So it could be maybe once a week of that dance class or music class, you know, 1 hour on a Sunday, but make sure you take out time for that, because that's where your happiness quotient is going to get complete. Otherwise, you'll always have that incomplete feeling that I'm making so much money, and you know, I have the right house and the right car and the right family, but there's still something missing.
Right. Right. So what's success to you?
Success is achieving my dreams, whatever, you know, from inside that I've always wanted to do, achieving them is success for me.
Yeah. So do you set goals for yourself?
Absolutely, absolutely. So whatever I want to do, you know, becomes my goal, and then I decide that what are the steps that are required by me to achieve this goal. So I'm big time into writing. I write down my goals, and then I break them down into what steps I have to take to achieve these goals, and then I set a timeline. So I know that it's not going to, you know, my schedule is not going to stick 100% to it, but I try as much as possible to stick to it. And certain times I can stick to it 60-40. Sometimes I can, you know, stick to it like 80%. So as long as I'm doing more and not less, I'm in a good space. You know, sometimes we beat ourselves over I wanted to achieve this by 2020, I didn't, you
Right,
know,
right.
life is not good, it's not going the way I planned it. It is not going to go the way you planned it,
Yeah, also people compare themselves with others, like at that stage, at that age,
Yes.
right? So no comparison at all. It is your journey and your life.
Absolutely, it's your journey and your life, and you don't know what's out there for you. You might think I didn't achieve this at 2020 because at 2026 there's something really amazing that's going to come to you, and probably it would not reach you if you were in another place. So trust your journey. See, put in your efforts, listen to your instincts. Trusting your journey, listening to your instincts, and putting it your 100% efforts. A combination of these three always works. And sometimes after putting in all our efforts, if something doesn't work out, then something better is meant for you. Don't think that I'm a loser, I couldn't achieve this, because you're meant to do something else which is actually going to keep you much happier.
Right.
And eventually when that happens, we all have been there and said,
Yes.
thank God that didn't happen, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
Sometimes we go through bad experiences and we're like, why did this happen to me? Why me? Why me? In earlier phase of my life, I would always say, why me? Why me? And now when something bad happens, I'm like, okay, I can't understand it right now, but I'm sure there's a reason for this and it's going to take me to a better place in my life.
Wow, that's positive thinking actually.
Yeah, that is, and it's not only just a positive thought to keep myself going, but I have seen that in my experience, And also I feel it's not one thing that's meant to work out for you. Personally, I feel there are multiple things, and the universe has also kept multiple options for us. So if one thing doesn't work out in a certain particular journey, there are many other things that can work out for us. So it's all right if one thing didn't work out.
So Preeti, I have seen you very stylishly dressed all the time. You're always looking very gorgeous and stylish and very perfect. So according to you, who according to you is the most stylish person other than you?
There are lots of people who are very stylish.
So somebody whom you idolize, like, okay, fine.
So as a child, I would love the way Sonia Gandhi looked.
Oh.
She is beautiful.
Right.
And
very graceful too.
Very graceful, and even adorning a simple, sari, she would look always so gorgeous.
Yeah.
So as a child, she was definitely one of my icons.
Yeah.
And
now?
Now it's like a little bit of everybody,
Okay.
Everybody's looking so good, so it could be Bollywood actresses or
from the Bollywood actresses whom?
Of course, Deepika Padukone. I think she looks amazing.
Okay.
I really like her a lot.
Okay.
And also like some Hollywood actresses, their makeup is very kind of natural and skin glowing. The Kim Kardashian and the Kardashian family.
Right.
So they look very, very glamorous, of course.
Yeah.
And it's always just going through their pictures and imbibing a little from everybody and adapting it to my personality, my face, my body.
Right. And somebody who needs a stylist, you feel like somebody is not so well dressed.
No, I think everybody in my personal circuit is
Oh,
very
that's a
well
very
dressed.
diplomatic thing.
No, actually. I mean, maybe because of my line of work now is like that. So, in my line of work, because it's to deal with lifestyle and luxury and socializing, everybody is well dressed. Some have a more simpler style statement.
Right.
Some have a more flamboyant style statement. But that's in my line of work, I come across people who are well dressed.
Okay. So are you satisfied with life?
If I think we're not meant to be satisfied with life,
Okay.
because that's the only way we will do more. There is so much potential for every human being to do, to learn, to experience, to share. So I think it's made like that we're not supposed to be satisfied. We always want to do more, whether it's achieving more in our work life, make our personal lives better, wish better for our children. So the journey and the cycle of doing, wanting, doing continues. Okay. I don't think that we are meant to feel that 100% satisfaction till we reach later days of our life, because normally you see that only the elderly people are the ones who will say that, I'm really happy with everything right now in my life. I'm happy where my children are, I'm happy with where I am, I have no complaints. But you won't hear somebody in their 40s or 50s ever saying that.
True, true, how true.
So I think we're just not meant to be, right? If something is not happening to any of us, then that's not how it's meant to be. We're meant to want and do and want and do.
Oh, lovely. That's really lovely. Preeti, because you have spoken about karma also, and now you're talking about this. So you have a very strong spiritual side, I think.
I do. I
You
am
do, right?
spiritual.
So, what do you feel? Why we have come here? What is the purpose of a life? And what are we going to achieve here? And where we are going to go? What is all this?
This is a beautiful question, Prashant, because that's something that I am also still seeking and wanting to understand it in full. But I feel there are many dimensions to it, why we are here and doing what we are doing.
Right.
But I feel one of the reasons is also to help each other. That's why there are so many people. The world would still go on if we were a few less million people, right? But I think we are supposed to be helping hands to each other. I'll tell you why. Whenever we help someone or do a good deed, we do feel very good about it, right? Our core, our soul feels really good. So when something feels good, like we say, it's meant to be, that's why it's feeling good. So what I have experienced in my journey is one of the reasons we're here on earth is to help each other. And the reason that we need to get strong and successful is so that we're that capable to help each other. So one of the life reasons is to, help others and keep the community or keep life existent and people on earth strong to be able to live this life in a better manner. So that's just one aspect of us, why we are here and doing what we are, to help each other. And I'm also looking out for more aspects. So when you know, please do share it with me.
Yeah, sure. So do you believe in reincarnation?
Actually, I do.
Yeah.
I do. So there's no logical reason why I do, but it's just by instinct. So I'm a person who definitely believes in using logic and instincts as a combination in my personal journey. And that's something that I've kind of always felt that yes, there is reincarnation since my childhood.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. And what scares you most?
I think not knowing the future scares me the most, I wish that we had our whole menu card of life planned out, at least for me, and our options, like how you sit down for a 7-course meal and have, options.
Right.
And I would like to lead my life with choosing, options. This unpredictability of what's going to happen the next minute or tomorrow is exciting, but a little too exciting for me. I would definitely have liked to go with the pace of knowing what's going to happen, in the next 1 week, 1 year, and the life ahead.
Like I have heard, if you go to a movie, and if I tell you the whole story in the beginning, and I'll tell you what happens in the end, then you won't be enjoying the whole process of the movie, and because you know the end. We sit through the movie because we want to know the end, what happens to the characters. So similarly, I feel our life is like that. We are also expanding, we are also exploring, and life is not like a menu, that's what I feel, because every day, whatever decision you take is a result tomorrow. So every day you can change your life course. That's what my feeling is.
That's a good one, yeah. If the menu is set and I didn't like something, this is a great take on it, that my actions today will determine my tomorrow. So I'm glad that it's not so pre-planned now. Thanks, thanks for that.
This whole conversation is for that, so we are helping each other in this.
Absolutely.
To grow and to expand and to know.
For sure. I know I have definitely grown from this conversation today.
Oh, how lovely is that? So what would be your closing lines?
I just think that do what makes you happy. Don't worry about what will people say, and try and do the right thing as well. Do a combination of both, so make sure you've done your duties in life, and then do take out time and opportunity to keep yourself happy, because what makes your soul happy, what makes your core happy, do things that will help your core to be happy, because that's what's actually going to give you happiness.
Wow.
And what we are doing everything to be happy, right?
To be happy, right?
At the end of the day, the bottom line is to be happy. So do things to make yourself happy. Every day do something, at least one thing to make yourself happy after you've fulfilled your responsibilities.
Wow. So that was Preity Modi with us, telling us to do whatever makes you feel happy, just go and do it. Don't think about the results. Don't think about what is going to happen the next. Just go and do whatever you feel happy about, and happiness will come your way. Thank you so much, Preity. That was lovely.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Prashant.
Absolutely.